2 minutes. Hey there, Failbook. We have, the 2-minute Failbook pregame. So I'm at a different angle today because we're in a different studio here at the Secret Podcast Studios. We have to move around because, things are happening. Pete, you probably want to either move that mic closer to you.
Sure. That might help.
Having the mic next to you, because I'm going to wait till we hit the top of the hour before I make the big announcement. Although if you are on Facebook, you may have already seen the big announcement. It's pretty exciting. This is exciting. Things are happening. Excitement. I am very excited about things are happening. No one's watching live right now. Let me move that nonsense out of the way here. Oh, the cough button?
Yeah.
Your cough button is all the way on the far end. Mine's buried underneath candy wrappers. Maybe we won't have a live audience today. We had the lowest views we've ever had last week.
Really?
Last week, a show I feel like we had the most fun.
Yeah.
We had the lowest amount of views that we've ever had. We went from the high of highs, where the week before we broke our record. Yeah. We smashed our record of views of over 500 views of that previous episode. And then last week we came crashing back down. And here, actually, I have my laptop here. I can see exactly how many views we had on last week. Let's see. Last week's views. Let's go to videos. Videos. Come on, videos. Ah, shit. It's already 8, so... Facebook I have to end the Facebook pregame at some point. Last week, only 234. We didn't even have half. Huh. We came crashing back down. I don't know what happened.
Well, yeah, it's weird.
It's weird. And we had just as many shares as we normally did. So I'm just going to end the Facebook pregame show now. I have to leave a nice gap of silence. That way it's easy to edit later on.
So you learned recently?
That's what I learned on Saturday. I learned on Saturday how to edit the show. So... No, we might actually have this. We might actually have this. All right, but because I'm still kind of doing Facebook pregame, so I was about to do the audio silence for the editing. So we're gonna
wait. Do we have to wait for him? Or?
No, we don't have to wait for him. We're just gonna keep going.
No,
he's
recording.
It's recording.
Recording?
I think it's recording. I don't know.
I
see it's on.
We're good.
We're good. All right, so now
MacGyvering something together.
Sam Zia, he is the MacGyver.
I MacGyver this shit in some ways that you are not going to do. By the way,
and I will not understand.
Guess who is just outside now?
Whom?
The little brother from Malcolm in the Middle.
What?
Yeah, he's in the hallways right now.
He's in the hallway right now. That's cool. So, all right.
If you go take a pee, you will spot him.
Well, I'm not going to take a pee because the show's starting. All right. So now we have to do the full intro. I have to do the full. I have to.
Do the intro.
Okay, let's go silent for a second. Hey, you're the one who has to edit this. You're only making your life more difficult.
I know, but it's funny.
Live from the Secret Podcast Studios somewhere in Los Angeles, this is Dre's Geek Philosophy. I am your host, as usual, Dre Cervantes, and with me, again as usual, Pete Malini. And running around like a crazy man right now is excessively long executive producer Sam Zia, who's had to MacGyver a few things to get the audio portion of the show recorded, which now is actually much more important. Like the first 3 months, us recording the audio was kind of like, okay, we're going to record it because eventually we're going to post it on iTunes. But if you were checking our Facebook feed before I went live today, we are officially on iTunes. Holy shit.
Yeah.
The Saturday night, me and executive producer Sam Zia, we spent the Saturday evening here at the Secret Podcast Studios editing the first few episodes, where we discovered, obviously the second episode, which we recorded at Nostalgic Book and Comics, is it's on my laptop, and we did not have it there. And for whatever reason, the third episode of the show is lost in time. It's been lost to the sands of time. So it's lost in time. So we're going to have to find a way to yank the audio off the Facebook, which means you and Sam probably won't get heard if we yank the audio off the Facebook video. But yeah, we have episodes 1, 4, and 5 currently on iTunes. If you go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/DreGP podcast, you will see the screenshot of iTunes. And if you go to iTunes, if you go to the podcast app and you search out Dre's, with an apostrophe, Geek Philosophy, you will find our show and you can download the audio version. That way you can clearly hear all of our guests.
I know, right?
As opposed to the Facebook videos where you primarily hear me, you might hear most of Peter, and you'll occasionally hear Sam.
Yeah.
But the full audio of the shows for everyone who's complained throughout the run of the first 3 months of the show where I can't hear the guest or I can't hear the person. You know what? We now have the technology. We have the capability for you to hear everything. And let's say you do not want to see my face and you just want to hear us. You now have that option on iTunes for episodes 1, 4, and 5. And then I believe we'll be able to just post it live. Me and Sam were joking about it. We're like, tonight we might post a few more of the other episodes, and we might post tonight's episode immediately after the show, or we'll get in right into the computer and take care of it. So it's an exciting time for the show. We're expanding. It's a thing you can find.
It's a thing you can find
on iTunes. This is I never dreamed this. To be honest, I never dreamed this would happen.
Really?
I really didn't. I
guess it was the end goal, but
that's the end goal. But I really did. In my heart of hearts, while I portray myself as a man of bluster and bravado, I truly have very little self-esteem. And I set very low expectations. This was just inherently this was a project of fun, and now we've actually expanded to but now it's on iTunes. It's
that one step closer.
That one step closer to being a legitimate show. We're on Facebook Live. Yeah. We have a relatively consistent base of people watching, listening, viewing. It's pretty insane. I am extremely overwhelmed. Like the fact that we got it up, like we got it out and it got approved within 48 hours. This is cool.
Yeah.
So enough about me. Please share.
No, you're right. I know this is something you wanted for a while, and it's it took a long time, but
it took a long time for me to get motivated enough to actually do it.
Yeah, but here we are, man.
Here we are. We're recording the show. Things are happening. We've had guests, and we're apparently going to do the show live from your East LA Comic Con.
We're setting that up. Yeah.
We're setting that up. We're discussing that in the pre-show meeting. We had an actual pre-show meeting today instead of just watching Team 4-Star videos. Yeah, exactly. We actually had a pre-show meeting and we talked about the stuff for the show. We talked about that's where during the pre-show meetings where we discovered that we were actually on iTunes.
Yeah,
because I honestly I'd been feverishly checking my iTunes account over and over because you have to log into iTunes separately if you're going to post up stuff, and I was feverishly checking it like every 8 hours for the last 48 hours. I go to bed, right before I go to bed, let me log in. Oh, no, still pending approval. Oh, damn it. Wake up this morning, log in again. Come on, pending approval. Dang it, come on. And then right now, during the pre-show meeting, I'm like, you know what? Let me check. And then, guys, grabbed my phone, immediately went, search Dre's Geek Philosophy. And there it was. Screenshot. And the screenshot of that is currently on the Facebook page, facebook.com/DreGP podcast. I now have to be really cognizant of our audio listeners. Yeah. Because now we're on so many multiple mediums. We're not even on Twitch right now.
No, yeah.
No. Yeah, because of extenuating circumstances, we are not on Twitch right now. So I'm sorry anyone who wanted to see everything that's happening in here. You're just stuck with me. But I did almost did that smooth segue a minute ago.
Oh yeah, I heard it. I was like, oh,
you heard my smooth segue into Team 4-Star. The first thing we want to talk about is our favorite videos, our pregame ritual, our pre-show ritual has been taken away because Team 4-Star, the Dragon Ball Z abridged episodes have been taken down by YouTube. Apparently, it's a regular thing since I've only come to recently discover Dragon Ball Abridged. Apparently, this is a thing that regularly happens. There'll be a copyright claim.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a copyright claim. They posted the video. Lanny Pator, I forget whatever that's his screen name. Mm-hmm. Like he posted the video. Like, oh yeah, it's springtime, so that means it's time for copyright claims. So even though it is a non-profit deal that they
it's a parody.
It's a parody. Yeah, I feel like it's protected under parody law, but of course the YouTube robots don't care.
And maybe because they're actually using the actual footage. I don't know. I mean,
I feel like they're editing the footage.
Yeah, I know they definitely are.
They're definitely editing the footage. Vegeta, you're a prison bitch. I mean, come on. We were just listening to highlights. So we still had it on during the pre-show meeting.
Yeah,
because some of the other content is still up. Just the actual Dragon Ball Abridged it's been removed. It made me a little sad. I was like, what do we? Is parody not allowed on the internet? Come on, come on, YouTube. Why do you got to be so draconian and corporate?
I wonder if it's actually maybe like a Warner Brothers thing because they're showing it at Cartoon Network now. So maybe like one
Maybe.
is the one that's complaining.
That might be a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we just, on the Facebook Live, we just received congratulations from one Joanna Morales,
Oh,
congratulating us for for launching on iTunes. And thank you, Joanna. And speaking of surprising things that happened in the last week, I didn't get to talk about it last week because we really hit our subject last week pretty hard.
Yeah.
I wanted to dedicate a lot of time. I didn't get to talk about how Rick and Morty came back on April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
Myself, I'm a huge Rick and Morty fan.
I love Rick and Morty.
You love Rick and Morty? I'm not sure if executive producer Sam Zia, right? He's a little busy right now. He's literally a chicken with his head cut off right now. So his participation in tonight's show may be a little bit more limited than usual. But yeah, Rick and Morty came back.
How many times have you seen that episode?
Honestly, like 9.
Yeah.
that night alone, I watched it 4 times.
Yeah.
Randomly, it's been on like every night at 10 o'clock. So I was like, I'll see it swing by. I'm like, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
See, now it's like anytime I'm somewhere in public now, if I have to leave, I know my exit line. I'm gonna go take a shit. If you don't watch Rick and Morty, I highly recommend it. It's insane.
Yeah.
It is not what you expect.
It's so smart too, man. Like
It's really it's drawn so poorly, but it's so intelligent.
Yeah, like
It's one of the smartest things I've ever watched. It's so insane.
Crazy. Like they take like classic science fiction themes and just give it like a whole new twist where like it's about the most randomest things though, you know?
Or like where Rick was in love with a hive mind.
Yeah.
The hive mind was his ex-girlfriend. Where like normally she just assimilates everyone, but she found Rick so interesting that she just wouldn't assimilate him. They were welcome back, excessively long executive producer Sam Zia. We're talking about Rick and Morty. You missed the Team 4-star talk, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm kind of bitter about that. I'm glad I didn't get a chance to talk about that.
Maybe it's
I
good.
would have stolen your thunder.
It's okay. It's okay. But we're talking about Rick and Morty right now, and just God. And I presume you do not watch Rick and Morty, Mr.
I need to get into it because everybody's telling me to get into it.
Yeah, like we were talking about, it's one of the smartest shows out there. It's hilarious. It's slightly disturbing.
Yeah.
It gets very dark.
Like he talks about some things, and you're just like, "Oh shit!" Like you know,
there's a lot of hashtag real talk going on that show. It's pretty intense. I was introduced. I was always kind of like turned off to it. Oh, I'm aware. I'm aware we're not on Twitch right now.
Sorry.
I made a joke.
We have to scramble a little.
No, I already made a joke about it during the pre-show and during the actual show. Made a joke. You know what? We're gonna fly by the seat of our pants and see what happens.
We have a podcast though.
But we do. We have an official iTunes podcast. It's
We have
freaking
a
exciting. It is official. It is exciting. This is. Oh, so
And we're rolling on the show. So
We're rolling.
this is good. The
And-
podcast is actually going to be up this week.
the podcast will be up. The version of the podcast will be on this week. But yeah, but Rick and Morty, I highly recommend it. Go on Adult Swim. They show it a lot. Oh, Szechuan sauce, yes, yeah. Because of this show,
it's coming back, right? Like
I don't know if it is coming back for sure.
I've read so many articles that it's coming back.
I mean, I feel a lot of it is just Justin Roiland's personal personal. He's using this position of power
to bring back
the things that he wants. Like I feel like in season 1 he was trying to pressure Nintendo into sending him some free stuff.
Yeah.
Which apparently a friend of mine and then Sam's actually has become personal friends with Justin Roiland.
Nice.
Yeah, I got a personalized drunken message from Justin Roiland as Rick. I cherish it very much. Where a drunken Rick is telling me, "Hey, don't kill yourself."
Do you have this audio?
I don't have it. Well, it's on the phone.
Put it up to. Yeah, we can't do it.
We can't do it right now. Actually, no, wait. If I do it from my if I do it from my laptop here, I might be able to do it. Hang on, let me find it. This is the fun. This is the fun part. Doing it live. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Do it live.
Exactly what's going on.
Where is it? Where's D-Loke? Where's D-Loke? D-Loke. Loke of the D. Where is he? In my messages. Come on, don't tell me I'd have to actually use Facebook Messenger. Come on. It's not on here. Why isn't it here?
Bah.
Bah.
Okay, we'll get it for people next time.
Well, we'll get it for it's pretty great. It's Rick basically telling me to not kill myself.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you go adopt a kitten or something? Don't kill yourself. And then he half-heartedly attempted to do a Morty because he was really drunk.
Yeah.
Oh, Rick! Oh, boy, Rick! Oh, Oh, the camera's not even set up properly.
You can line it up on top of the monitor in front of you.
Oh, okay, yeah, we did that last time, didn't we?
Yeah.
Oh, this is great. Everyone gets Facebook gets a freaking great shot of my crotch.
Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Usually you have to pay extra for that kind of stuff.
Good enough. I don't know. You guys can... let me get back to the actual show.
Yeah, please. We will do the behind-the-scenes stuff.
Behind the scenes.
You do the scenes stuff.
Let me do the actual scenes and not my crotch into the camera.
I'll put my crotch into the camera.
I know you have no hesitation, my friend, of putting your crotch into the camera. But the third thing I want to talk about, and something that happened this morning, is Marvel Studios deciding, to put the double middle finger at everybody.
Yes.
And releasing the Thor Ragnarok trailer. I believe I'd mentioned on this show, I felt like low-key that I was going to be like, that's the movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, that's going to be the awesome movie. And then now that they've released the trailer, I think everyone knows that movie's going to be fucking cool.
I talked about it earlier. I've never been this excited for a Thor movie.
I don't think anyone's been this excited for a Thor movie. It looks
really
cool.
good.
It looks so cool. Oh my god! And I know like Loki. It's freaking what's his face? I can never say his name. Well, the director from the director of the movie is the same guy from what we do in the shadows.
Yeah.
Taiki Waititi. Oh, I can't wait.
Oh, beard shot.
Beard shots, all beards. We got all the beards. But yeah, and everyone's losing their shit over that awesome line at the very end of like Thor's like Thor, here comes the challenger, Thor, and then you see Thor the other, yeah,
I work with him.
I know him from work.
I'll tell you, man, like hearing that line makes me think those Team Thor things it's continuity.
Oh, they're continuity, dude.
It has to be, right?
They're on the Blu-rays.
Yeah.
They're continuity. No, Team Thor, him being shitty to his roommate, that's totally continuity.
Did you ever see the second one?
Yeah, the one where like he's trying to pay the rent and freaking he's trying to pay rent. These are Asgardian coins.
Yeah.
They're worth millions. Go find an Asgardian mart and go convert them into your money.
Like tell them they were owned by Thor. Like
They were owned by Thor. Oh my god! Oh, there's so much, and you know the thing I really liked about that trailer, it really didn't give away too much.
Yeah.
It kind of gave you the important things, like all right, Thor's hammer totally broken.
Yeah.
Kate Blanchett, bad fucking ass.
Yeah.
Loki, chaos. I'm like, I'm hanging out over here with Jeff Goldblum, who's being Jeff Goldblum.
He's totally being Jeff Goldblum.
He can't not be Jeff Goldblum. he cannot help himself.
I mean, I knew that they were gonna do it, but I was slightly disappointed that he wasn't blue.
Aw.
Like,
I wanted him to be blue so bad.
But
Oh no, I was about to make a bad pun. I stopped myself. Go ahead. I guess you could say they blew it. I'm fired. I'm going to fire myself for my own show.
But man, I sent you that screenshot.
That screenshot.
It's so crazy.
It's so Jack Kirby.
Like all the designs in the background. I posted, like I took a screenshot of that and pulled like this red guy in the background.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't know who this is, but from his design alone, he's my new favorite Marvel character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that guy's like everything about it screams freaking Kirby, dude.
Which is so weird because like the other movies they didn't do that. It was more like mysticism. It was more like medieval. And this one just looks so comic booky.
Oh, it screams comic. And cause I'd seen people say, "Oh, it's too colorful," and then you pull up an old freaking panel from the Kirby run, and that's what Thor was. I mean, at its quote unquote at its height, with Simonson and freaking Kirby, it's like that's what it was. There's a little rainbow bridge. It's a crazy place with crazy Kirby designs, and like that screenshot you sent me, all the freaking Kirby lines and Kirby power circles and circles. It's like all Jack Kirby, classic freaking comic book. It looks so good. It's so good.
I can't wait, man.
It looks delicious.
It does look delicious.
It's crazy. I don't know if you saw Kevin Smith did a reaction video to it.
You know what? I stopped that video like halfway through, because sadly I feel like Kevin discredited himself when he said that that Justice League trailer was great and Zack Snyder did it again. I literally stopped the video at that point.
Dude, it was funny. During the live Facebook Live when he did that, he said Zack Snyder did it again, and someone commented like, "That's not a good thing." But
That's true.
Yeah.
That is not a good thing. Zack Snyder doing it again? No. Making another bad movie?
But the thing is that it's always interesting to listen to him talk about it because he makes movies.
He makes movies.
And he made a comment that like getting the song for the Led Zeppelin song for the trailer was probably like, super expensive. And like Marvel just was like, fuck it, like, you know, right?
Yeah, no, that song is like heavily protected, man.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite Japanese professional wrestlers, like he uses that song as his intro in Japan, and like obviously they don't care about Japan, but like when you try to stream the show, it's like nope, they have to mute it every time he comes out. So I just imagine it in my head when he comes out, but like that song with the trailer, holy shit.
Yeah. So he said that they probably spent a ton of money on that song alone, that's what Marvel's doing nowadays. I don't know if you heard about the
Guardians?
the Inhumans thing that they're doing.
Oh, what about it?
So it's going to be co-produced by IMAX.
Really?
IMAX, the company itself, is going to co-produce this movie. The TV show or whatever.
TV show, but what they're going to have special screenings of it?
The first 2 episodes that they're going to have in theaters.
Ooh.
But here's the craziest thing.
What?
It's technically a TV show, right?
Right.
The first 2 episodes cost $80 million.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
I beg your pardon. The first 2 episodes of a television program starring the Inhumans, they shelled out $80 million for.
Yeah.
I couldn't get those motherfuckers to squeeze out an extra $1,000 to help me ship out some Blu-rays back in the day, but they'll spend $80 million.
Yeah.
That's a Disney story.
Yeah.
That's when I worked at Disney for a year.
But yeah, so it's just like, I kind of feel like Marvel knows, like we're making money on this shit, like whatever, like, you know. Like,
I mean, good God, they're gonna have to. I mean, I guess even that's insane.
but iTunes, IMAX is co-funding it, so you figure they took a hit from that too. You know?
I'm sure they're taking a hit, but well, if they charge $25 a seat, for,
yeah, exactly.
I'm sure that first weekend enough nerds will all freaking
yeah.
like flock to it and watch it.
I'm kind of curious. I kind of want to go see it. Kind of want to see it.
There is a bigger. But me, I'd have to go to a true IMAX screen and not a Limax.
Yeah,
I'd have to either go to City Walk or I'd have to go to the freaking if they show it at the Science Center IMAX. Because going to my local AMC, I'm like, that's a Limax screen. It's a lie.
It's a lie.
I learned that from a friend of mine. One of my coworkers from Nintendo. Take a drink. He always I remember I told him, well, me and my girlfriend, we're gonna go watch this movie on an IMAX screen. He's like, oh, and he'd be like, is it a legit IMAX screen or is it a Limax? And apparently that's a true thing. Like if you go on, apparently there was a website back then. This was like 2005, 2006. It's like you go on this website and it's like, oh, are you watching an IMAX or Limax?
That's funny, man.
We're like all these screens, you're getting IMAX quality sound, but the screen is not
that great.
Not that great.
Not big enough.
Not big enough.
Yeah.
It's slightly bigger. You're getting an extra large screen. Not like if you go to City Walk and watch an IMAX movie there, you're like, holy crap! Like when I watched the Dark Knight Rises there, it's like full. It was nuts. The one that totally tripped me out was friggin' Tron Legacy in IMAX. Yeah. Because you could tell the difference, like some of the scenes were just like they timed it with the music. But that movie was so great with the way they combined the sound with the visuals. Mm-hmm. It was an experience. Most people will say that movie was shit, but I do not.
That's the only movie I've ever paid to see in 3D. Like just because I was like, oh, it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be worth it. Like it looks cool.
It's so cool. It's so great. I wish I could have a 3D TV to watch my 3D. A Facebook viewer Darren Fong. I took him to go watch The Dark Knight on IMAX.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because I remember that night. That was probably like my second or third viewing of. Because there was another time I took a couple of coworkers to go watch it. And apparently we're underwater.
Yeah.
If you're watching this on Facebook, apparently we are underwater.
I'm just doing my impression of a sperm.
Oh, are you doing the impression of the sperm you used to impregnate your girlfriend?
Yes, the one that won the great race.
The one that won the great race and brought us Super Kami JoJo.
Yes.
But yeah, so like you're saying, like it's like Marvel's just putting money into this stuff though. It's like they're going all out. I mean, I read somewhere, I don't know if it's true or not, but the Infinity War movie is probably going to cost $1 billion to make.
Hell yeah, if they have all those stars.
Yeah, right.
I mean, just paying the people in it alone. I mean, shit. Production wise, this sounds like it's going to be a logistical nightmare. But I think they're expecting. I mean, because the biggest movie they've had was Iron Man 3. That's the one that made like 1.6 billion or something or other. So I think they're expecting this thing to break freaking 2 billion.
Well, it has to, right? You figure
I would think. I would hope.
You have the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy in one movie.
In one movie. I mean, geez, it's going to be insane. I'm going to lose my goddamn mind.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch that movie like 3 or 4 times. Hopefully, I'll have steady work. Early next year.
Yeah, there you go.
To watch it, or I'll charge it all to the podcast.
Yeah.
Because by then we'll be successful, right? Yeah.
But it's so much going on. Like, I don't even know where Spider-Man fits into all this, man. Like,
There's so many things happening, man. There's so many moving parts. It's just insane. It's great. Mm-hmm. Honestly, it is great to be a nerd right now.
Oh yeah,
it's
a good time.
I remember I've said many years ago, like we are in the golden age of nerds, and which brings us to our lead topic. See, transition. Look at that seamless transition. Our main topic of the night today.
Well,
it is.
Here's a good segue to that.
Yeah, segue.
The saying was, "The meek shall inherit the earth." We got it.
The meek have inherited the earth. The nerds, we run shit now. We run shit. We're in charge.
Yeah,
but
you said like the nerds make the coolest stuff, and that's why we're running things now, man.
We make all the cool shit.
Yeah.
I mean, even the people that were not the meek now are tapping into all of the nerdy stuff.
Yeah, no, that is true. Like I feel like the stigma of being a nerd, like the shit that I'm sure all three of us had to kind of live through when we were young nerds.
Oh yeah. This is something that this generation is never going to understand.
That they would never understand
what it was like to be an 80s and 90s nerd.
80s and 90s nerd, and like when you own that shit. I had a discussion with a friend of the show, D-Loc, where he's like, I was a nerd, no one gave me shit. I'm like, nah, bro, you didn't own your shit like we did.
Well, no, not only that, he was bigger than everybody.
I'm sure he was like 6'2" when he was like 10.
I mean, you have to remember, this is the guy that was the bodyguard for Suge Knight.
He was the bodyguard for Suge Knight.
So that'll give you an idea of just how big this guy was. Nobody was going to talk shit about him.
No one's going to talk shit to him. I mean, man, back in middle school, I had comic books stolen from my backpack. No. People freaking making fun of me for loving Nintendo. Because I always brought my Nintendo Powers with me to work. I brought my Game Boy with me to school, and people would give me shit for that. Like, oh, you're playing your video games. And now video games are fucking cool. Comic books are cool. People buy the droves. That Avengers movie next year when that comes out, that might be the biggest movie of all time. That could be the one to topple Avatar,
Titanic and all that.
And Titanic, all those big ass movies. People, it's okay to love this shit now. It's okay to be enthusiastic about it.
Can we each, like every one of us nerds, go and see that movie 5-6 times so we can knock Titanic out of there, please?
I think a lot of nerds are already going to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, if everybody watched Iron Man 3, which has not aged well. I mean. I thought it was fine when I watched it. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
It was a step up from 2.
It was a step up from 2. I'll be honest. My appreciation of the movie went down when I heard Shane Black on Douglas Movies talk about how much he hated making it. I was like, bro, bro. I mean, I get it. That was a paycheck to you.
I think that happens in Marvel. I think any big name directors, they're just like, oh. Like Josh Whedon hated his whole existence with Marvel, even though he provided us, the Amazing Avengers. Yeah.
And then the second Avengers movie, which
I still like that movie.
It's still fun.
People complain.
People complain about it because it wasn't the first Avengers movie. I think that's
I think that's the same problem with Iron Man 3 was it was the first movie post Avengers. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, I guess we were just hyped up, we
wanted all the Avengers to show up.
Yeah.
Because I know that was a big problem. Several people I talked to about, where were all his friends?
Yeah.
Why weren't they helping him right now? So I'm like, well, it was like a 3-day span. Thor's off in Asgard. Captain America's still getting used to
listening to old timey records or
going through his checklist, going and watching Star Wars. But it really has changed. And this topic really spawned from a conversation Pete and I had, because Pete and I carpool here to the Secret Podcast Studio, and then you why don't you tell that story that you told me? I feel you will tell it better. That your conversation between you and was it Han Cholo?
Han Cholo.
Yes, please. A conversation between you and Han Cholo.
We met up. We were doing something for the East LA Comic Con. And we were talking, and he was telling me. He asked me. He goes like, "Oh, so were you always into this stuff?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, since elementary school." And he asked me. He goes like, "Oh, were you like a low pro or undercover or something like that, right?" Like, and I'm like, "No, dude." I go, "I had the shirts all the time. Like, people knew that I was into this stuff, Like,
I remember when you were a customer at the store, you were walking in with your Wolverine shirt or your Superman shirt. And you had like the button-down shirt.
Yeah.
Like you were like hardcore. Like you got the nice like silk screened freaking.
Yeah, that was my uniform for a while, man. Like,
That was. One was the funny thing he said, like, "Oh, when did you come out of the closet?"
Yeah, he goes. I was like, "No, man, I was always."
I've always been out. I've always been a nerd.
You are the house around the closet,
right? And I thought it was.
And yeah, he started talking about how he kind of like didn't make he didn't talk about it too much in high school because he played football, and it was just like that's not. That wasn't cool.
It wasn't cool to be a nerd. People would fuck you up.
Yeah, so
people fucked my ass up until I got to be 6 foot 6 foot tall, and people stopped kind of fucking with me.
And I mean now it's the opposite now. Now it's like it's cool to be into this.
Like
stuff.
all these sports stars start doing stuff. Like Cam Newton does a Superman pose every time he scores a touchdown. I mean. All these nerds, all these sports athletes are into video games. Yeah. You watch them; they play freaking NFL Madden tournaments on fucking PlayStation 4 and Xbox.
All the NBA guys play NBA. Every one of them is tweeting out what their rating is as soon as they figure out what it is, and all of them are usually really pissed off because they're like, "How could you rate me a 75, man? I'm a 79 at least
on the minimum." And this whole world, I noticed some of my female friends are dressing up their kids in nerd shit. Yeah,
and that's a big thing now, man.
You put your kid in a TMNT. Like I saw your son, Super Kami Jojo, has his TMNT his Michelangelo onesie.
He's too big for now.
He's too big for it now. Oh, that's sad.
Crazy. He grows so fast. But no, he had a Batman outfit, a Superman outfit. We don't want to limit him.
Yeah. No.
We also are getting some Star Wars stuff, and that's the one thing I think is. The biggest shift, the paradigm shift that made it so that nerd became more mainstream. The women got into it.
Oh, yeah.
The women really made a difference. Because first of all, you can go to Comic-Con 10 years ago, and it was a bunch of sweaty dudes walking around each other. And gawking.
More than 10 years ago.
Yeah, well, more than 10 years ago, yeah. So they were all staring and gawking at each other at like any girl that was there. And now... It's a 50-50.
It's 50-50 now.
Yeah. And I mean, my girlfriend is just as much into Dragon Ball as I am.
Nice.
She loves Star Wars.
Yep. I remember when she was walking around pregnant, she had her Darth Vader onesie that she wore.
Yeah, and she also
big old like all the Darth Vader buttons were around her belly. Where Super Kami Jojo was inside.
Yeah, that's the best part is that now there's the people who were our age growing up that were really big nerds. Found women that were just as nerdy as we were, and it was totally cool. And now we're raising a generation of 2 to 3 kids each that are going to be just as nerd strong.
And it's awesome.
Yeah,
it is freaking great.
I mean, but the whole thing with women getting into it's so weird that I still hear people like women complain that they go to shops and they get mistreated because. You get older guys, or like
like the guys from another generation. Yeah, that bugs me when I hear stories like that. Where like, oh, you don't belong here. Why are you buying comics? Are you buying comics for your boyfriend? Yeah. It's like, what the fuck are you doing, bro?
The best story I ever heard about that was Joanna. She was going to college, and there was a comic shop across the street from the university, and so she had like a little break. So she's like, "Fuck it, go check it out." And she walked in there, and she called me. And she was so pissed off. She goes. She's like, yeah, this guy was like, oh, here's some Barbie comics.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And I was like, I was like, there's Barbie comics? That was
like 1 Barbie comics. Yeah. What? 2? Why was?
Yeah.
What is the motivation?
Yeah. It's still a thing, which is crazy to me. I don't know.
No, it still is. A friend of mine, I remember she started shopping at the House of Secrets in Burbank, but because some other store I think it was called like Comic Smash, where like they literally like talked down to her, and that was probably like 08, 09 when they were like really one. It's a whole new demographic of people, and then you were just gonna shut them out by being a dick.
Like why turn away? Yeah.
Why are you? Why like one from a business standpoint? It's stupid.
Yeah.
Secondly, It's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, you're not the right gender, so you can't buy comics. What the fuck is that shit?
Yeah. Let's completely alienate 50% of the population.
I don't. When I was a comic book clerk, I was always like happy and welcome. Like, oh, there's a girl here. Like, holy shit.
Seriously, it's like when a girl shows up in a video game room, like when you're playing online, and every dude is like saying, "Oh my god, it's a girl," and they all freak out.
And I was like, no, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's not happening as often as it used to. Like I remember, like people playing MMOs in particular. If a girl comes by, then there's like 20 guys.
Oh, everyone loses their damn mind and like, oh, here, take my free stuff.
Yeah, but it's that. Fortunately, that's becoming less frequent because you're getting more and more girls that are not afraid to come in and shoot the shit with the guys.
But yeah, it's just this whole stigma. It's okay to be enthusiastic about stuff.
Yeah,
because I think that's what was misunderstood about being a nerd. I don't think people understood. Like, no, it's you're being enthusiastic about things.
I mean, we always talked about like everybody is nerdy about something.
Yeah,
like there's. It might not be your thing, but it's
like you're nerdy about something. Like, and I'm going to lead us to our next point. Like, people like jocks.
Yeah.
So jocks. It's a thin line between a jock and a nerd.
Yeah.
People don't realize that. It's a thin line. And you might, and I'm sure you had people texting you when they saw the format, when I saw the posted format, like, what? Jocks and nerds? I'm like, another thing I want to give credit to you.
Judgmental
nerd, Pete Molini. Sports fans are the original cosplayers.
This is true.
Yeah.
Sports fans are original. Like, and you may say, what? Think about it. Football fans dressing up like the players, dressing up like the mascots, putting on the paint, putting on a costume to go watch the game.
Yeah.
That's cosplaying, bro. Those are the OG cosplaying.
I would show up at Laker games sometimes with my jersey,
with your Magic Johnson jersey,
purple gigantic afro wig.
Nice.
That's OG cosplaying, son. They were cosplaying before. They were the cosplay hipsters, man.
Yeah.
They were cosplaying before cosplaying was a thing. That's fucking being a nerd.
I mean, you
can be a sports fan, but a fanatic, nerd.
And you better believe the people who wear the jerseys and show up know damn near everything and debate this shit just as much as nerds do about comic books.
Exactamundo, sir.
Because even just the jerseys, man. You're wearing your favorite player's jersey.
Your favorite player, just not unlike you wearing a Superman shirt. Yeah. That's your favorite comic book character. Me wearing an Iron Man shirt. That's one of my favorite characters. You are enthusiastic about it. Mm-hmm. And another major point I wanted to hit on that. Freaking fantasy sports.
Oh, fantasy sports is the nerdiest thing in the world.
I'm sure people didn't even know how nerdy they were. That's like freaking Dungeons and Dragons.
It's like math nerds completely mixed in with sports geeks.
And then all of a sudden, like, math nerds are like fantasy experts now.
Yeah.
Like your Matt Berry's on ESPN. That's a math.
Those fantasy guys transformed how most sports do everything. They're the analytics guys.
Yeah, the guys.
The Moneyball guys. The experts are the freaking nerds.
Yep, exactly. And I remember the resistance in the 90s and the 2000s to these analytics guys. Like, oh, what's this numbers guy? It's like, this nerd. And it helps out. I mean, like, the Oakland A's may not have won a title, but they turned a team from something to nothing. It's insane when you think about it. It's always been there. Yeah. The people, it's always just been under the surface. But now, we run shit.
We run shit.
The nerds fucking run shit now.
Yeah, I'll tell you about that when fantasy sports was explained to me, and I was like, that sounds so complicated and so nerdy.
It sounds so fucking nerdy.
Yeah, like,
dude, when I was in high school, I wanted to play fantasy sports so bad. You have no idea, because I always read about it in my basketball magazines. Yeah. Like, oh, playing fantasy basketball. I was like, I want to do this. This sounds amazing. But then this was like, when I was in high school, it was still in the mid '90s. The internet was a luxury.
Yeah,
not a commonplace thing.
They would charge you by the minute.
They charge you by the minute.
Yeah.
America Online, like, you got 100 free minutes. You better spend them wisely. Man, it takes a long time to download porn. You lose half your minutes. But yeah, I remember because I buy my magazines and I see in the back, oh, play fantasy basketball. Like you'd have to. I guess the way it used to work back in the day is like there'd be some outside company where like you and your friends would send in your teams and they'd send you back your statistics and tell you who won. It was very snail mail. Like, all right. I want Hakeem Olajuwon, Clyde Drexler. Oh man, I can't afford this point guard. Who am I going to get as my point guard? And you just like you mail it off, and then like they tell you, all right, after so many months of the season, all right, here's where you are in the standings with the players that you picked.
Wow.
Rolling dice. And then there was my freshman year of college, me and my friends, we manually did it.
Oh man.
Where I was the crazy person. I got the LA Times every morning. And then I would crunch numbers in between classes at PCC or sometimes during class at PCC. I'd have my sports page and I'd have it all written out. I had this like whole notebook where I had everyone's teams, and I'd go through. I'm like, all right. If the Cavaliers played, that means we got this player from the Cavaliers, that player. All right. If we got the Lakers play, all right. Like me, I'm on top of my players. I'm like, Washington Bullets played, all right. Chris Webber, all right. Nice. That was my guy, C. Webb, back in the day. He was my fantasy monster because I was on top of that stuff, and it was super fucking nerdy. And and all my basketball friends, I was playing with them, and it was funny because those friends, they were all low key nerds. Yeah. Like they were such undercover nerds. Like you were saying, like they they're hiding it. They're hiding it. They were working with me at the comic shop, but they wouldn't talk about it in public. No, they're ballers. They're playing ball, but low key they're freaking Final Fantasy. Everyone's taking turns playing Final Fantasy on my PS1. And they were all playing Legend of Zelda on David's N64. It was like they were all low key. They're like quietly reading comic books, but they wouldn't talk about it. No, they never. I tried to start conversations about the books, and they're like, no, they don't want to talk about it. And they were the worst. The one like where they kind of started like in college. They started like letting go of hiding the nerds. They started playing Magic the Gathering.
Oh, see, yeah, that's what.
that's some major league nerd shit.
Sorry about that. When I was in high school, I was in high school with this one guy. He was like a year ahead of me. Mm-hmm. And the guy, once he graduated high school, he went straight into the Marines. Uh-huh. And so I was like, oh, that's crazy. And they made such a big deal about it. And then a couple years go by, and I'm working at Galaxy. And it's like on the weekend, or I'm hanging out. It's a Sunday, and I'm sitting at Galaxy. And I was talking to somebody, and all of a sudden that dude walks into the store. And he's like, hey, and we start talking, whatever, and he's chatting me up for a while. And he just keeps kind of looking, and then a customer comes in, so I go behind the counter and to ring him up. And after I ring him up, he's like, oh, you work here? I'm like, yeah. And he goes, sign me up for the Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. And I was like, what?
No.
Like the last person I expected,
Last person you expected to be a Yu-Gi-Oh guy. Yeah. This is Marine. Yeah. It's all, but now it's acceptable. It's okay, man.
But is it as acceptable as being into sports? Because I don't think you can fly a Superman flag in front of your house. But you could.
Well, obviously, sports are still much more accepted.
Yeah.
I mean, but it. Hey man, I mean, people driving cars, freaking, there's people driving in DeLoreans, bro.
That's true.
Like legit DeLoreans with the Mr. Fusion sticking out the top. They got the freaking flux capacitor flashing.
That's true.
With DeLoreans, I mean, in my previous job, I saw a mystery machine in a Target parking lot.
That's cool.
It's acceptable cool. Now, man.
I get it.
I mean, I feel people over 40 still judge the fuck out of people. I mean, that the generation above us will still continue to judge, but our generation and now the generations going forward, it's not going to be as judgmental, man.
Yeah,
it's okay. And it's fine. I find some of my friends. I saw our mutual friend Enrique Cruz. Mm-hmm. He commented it was a tough life as a nerd. He mentioned that earlier on the Facebook.
It was a tough life.
It was a tough life. Our other mutual, I know Patrick said, "Oh, these kids they didn't earn it like we did."
Yeah, they earned it.
Like I feel like there's a lot of bitter nerds who are like, "Oh, they've never had to go through the struggle like we did."
Yeah. Well, we started doing HeroClix at the store, at the current store. Mm-hmm. I remember my regular HeroClix players were high school football players. They would show up with the pads and
they come from practice.
They come straight from
practice. Play
HeroClix. And I remember the first time Patrick saw that, he was so confused. He was just like, "What's going on?" And then he literally told them, he's like, "You guys are high school football players?" He's like, "Shouldn't you be out banging cheerleaders? Why are you playing HeroClix?"
See, it's that generational guy, man.
Right.
We're used to the stereotypes. Yeah. We're a little older. We're the adults now.
We're the adults now.
That's kind of terrifying sometimes when I think about it. We're the adults. Holy shit.
But it's so acceptable now.
It's a different world, man.
It's a totally different world.
It blows me away. I remember like when I was working at the Disney Studios and like seeing the Shield logo up on like as one of the posters, like next to like all like the TV shows and the movies. I saw like right before the Agents of Shield started, before we found out that show was just okay. And I remember seeing that, and I was like, wow. I never thought, you know, I was like a young nerd like me, like I never would have thought that, you know, big movie studio would just be a random Shield logo.
Yeah, random Shield, exactly.
Like Shield, right? Like, you know, like you know, when we were kids, you know, Superman and Batman, you know, were the big things. But, you know, something as random as Shield becoming a TV show.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's insane to think about, like how like we're gonna get an Inhumans TV show. Apparently, they're spending $80 million on.
Yeah,
we had Luke Cage and Iron Fist separately.
Yeah.
Apparently, Iron Fist not as good as Luke Cage.
Yeah, well, I finally finished it.
You finished Iron Fist?
You know my biggest problem with it, and I think it's a lot of people's problem with it.
What is it?
It's a martial arts show where the martial arts kind of sucks.
Oh,
I think that's the big problem with it.
They didn't spend money on good martial artists. They skimped on that.
They skimped on that.
they took that money and put it into IMAX money.
Yeah, exactly.
They put the money they spent on the Daredevil martial arts into something else.
Yeah, there's a little extra money for we can get Lockjaw for that show, right?
We need all that money. Fuck it. We won't get the Wu Wong Peng martial arts team. Yeah. Let's get his cousin. Let's get his cousin. Not Bruce Lee, but Bruce Lei. That's one of my buddies, Irv. He always makes that joke. Bruce Lei. It's not the real Bruce Lee. It's Bruce L.E. Bruce Lei.
I remember that.
Bruce L.E.
There was a couple of different Bruce Lee guys. There was Bruce Lei, L.E.I.
Oh my God! Yeah. Oh, he's freaking knockoff Bruce. God, I remember last year when I was doing the movie challenge, I watched what was it? That Game of Death or no? Oh no! Or it was one of those movies where they used like unfinished footage.
Yeah, that was Game of Death.
Yeah. That was Game of Death, and it was so bad.
Oh yeah, no,
so awful. If you want, I was so disappointed.
There's a documentary that actually has the uncut footage of the original idea for Game of Death. What they tried to put out there was so pathetic.
There were so many different guys trying to be Bruce Lee with like the prosthetics and sunglasses and.
But if you watch the actual documentary of it and the edited out footage, it's phenomenal.
Oh,
it's beautiful because there's some great dialogue.
Because that's the one where he fights Kareem, right?
Yeah, and there's some great dialogue in those fight scenes between all of them, and it's him going through his philosophy against all these other martial arts masters. It's freaking amazing.
Man, it makes me sad that wasn't that was incomplete.
That iconic scene though, when Kareem kicks him in the chest.
Yeah,
a big footprint. Like.
See, that was the whole reason. I remember I fired it up on Netflix. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna finally watch this movie. I'd never seen it before.
Yeah.
And sadness. So which movie is the one with the claws?
That was Enter the Dragon.
Enter the Dragon. Okay. Yeah. So.
By the way, watch Kentucky Fried Movie. Fistful of Yen is one of the best spot-on parodies of Enter the Dragon.
Fistful of Yen.
It's freaking amazing.
That sounds amazing. I can't wait to eventually.
Have you ever seen Kentucky Fried?
I have not. That was.
I thought you might have done it last year.
That was on the list, but I don't think I had.
I got it.
Of course you have it. We might have to do a live streaming of me watching the movie with you.
It's a movie. One of those movies like Blazing Saddles. There's no way they can make it.
Yeah, I had it kind of on my list of movies to watch. I had it queued up on Amazon Prime, but I think it was free for a little while. But then, Amazon Prime is a little finicky, where a movie will be free for like 3-4 weeks, and all of a sudden, nope, not anymore.
Yeah.
And then maybe like 6 months from now, okay, it's free again. No, it's not.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It was on the radar for last year's movie challenge, but I just never got around to it.
You got to come by and watch it. It's the first movies by the guys that made Airplane and Naked Gun.
Oh,
and all that.
Snap!
So it's.
I love those.
It's quality.
It is quality. I'm trying to think if we have anything else to add to this topic other than waxing poetically about nerdiness.
Yeah. Well. What else did we leave out?
I hit all the points that we had on the thing.
What was the last point?
The last point was fantasy sports equating DVD.
Yeah.
In the D&D.
Oh yeah.
We hit the sports are the fans of the original cosplayers. We hit coming out of the closet, so to speak.
Yeah. And I was thinking about this on the way over here. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised no one's ever done a cartoon called Fantasy Football, and it's like trolls and fucking like demigorgons and like like
fantasy football.
Yeah, right.
And then the demon all these controller, they're playing football.
Yeah, like I'm surprised no one's done that.
I mean, it was called Mutant League Football on the Genesis.
Oh, there you go.
That's right.
Mutant League Football on the Genesis, man. That's running on the Madden 94 engine.
That's right.
One of the most fun football games I've ever played in my life. And, you know what? That's one of the things I always say. Like I've always felt like I was trapped between the two worlds because I was really enthusiastic about sports, but then a lot of my sports friends would judge me for being a nerd, and a lot of my nerdy friends would judge me for being really into sports.
Yeah, we tread that delicate balance together.
Yeah, you and I, because we're the same age. We've lived almost parallel lives. You and I.
Yeah, like
that is why you and I are such good friends.
I was the video game nerd that snuck into Laker games.
Yeah.
Throughout high school.
Nice.
And, yeah.
But, okay, how about this? So when Disney was bought by Marvel, and then they had like ESPN now and all that. Right? So all that stuff they did to try to get sports fans into comics, like they had like the Lakers as the Avengers and stuff.
Yeah.
Does that appeal to you guys at all?
Well,
I think it's cute.
They did a similar thing on basketball cards back in the day, where they had they tried to turn certain.
Oh, I remember Upper Deck. That was the Upper Deck. That was it. A Shaq's rookie year set.
Yeah.
Where they had like Michael. It was drawn by Jim Lee.
Yeah.
It was Jim Lee. Someone else, Quesada, was it Silvestri or someone else? It was someone else of that era. I remember those cards.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember. I think McFarlane did.
McFarlane did.
Was it McFarlane?
He did the Michael Jordan one. The only reason I remember that because he had like a jetpack and he was like flying through space.
Yeah.
And,
It was really. Yeah, I think that was one of those where they were trying to
yeah.
I think it's, like I said, it's always been there. It's a thin line between geek and jock.
Do you remember the Michael Jordan, Bo Jackson, Wayne Gretzky cartoon from back in the day?
Oh my god,
what was it called?
I can't remember what it was called, but they were all Nike guys.
Yeah.
So
it was a Nike sponsored show.
They were going around like superheroes solving problems in the world with their sports abilities. Like, Wayne, do a slap shot at that tree and knock that branch down.
Michael, jump over that thing. Bo, use your bat and break it in half. Oh no, just tackle it.
I remember it was a classic '90s cartoon because the intro animation was so much better than the actual show.
Typical '90s.
And I remember it sticks in my head. There was a scene with Bo Jackson. They showed him. There's someone like cutting down trees because we're saving the environment.
That's right.
And he grabs like a log and he like hits this machine like a baseball
with a baseball swing with a giant log.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so '90s. Oh good god, I want to look that up. Man, you know what? This is slightly off topic. One of my friends during the week posted this article about like '80s cartoons that we forgot about.
Yeah.
And I found out through that article that there's this cartoon. I don't know if you were a little too young because you're only a couple years younger than me. But there's a cartoon called The Centurions.
Yeah, with the football players that go back in time?
No, not the football players. No. It was like, they're the guys and they put on these weird things.
I remember
like
the toys.
Man and Machine!
Yeah.
Extreme! Designed by Kirby, Jack
really?
Kirby, and freaking, who was the other one? It was designed by Jack Kirby and Al Milgram. And then the stories were written by Jerry Ordway.
That's crazy.
Three comic book legends worked on this crazy cartoon. I was like, what? No wonder like that kind of weird and then I look back at the art and I was like, oh, and the design and the costumes like totally freaking Kirby. All the costumes had the little holes in them to plug in. I'm like, that's such a Kirby thing. Yeah. Oh my god.
I think I remember the toys. I don't think I remember the cartoon.
There was a terrible cartoon.
Okay.
It was an awful cartoon, but I remember the toys. The toys were badass because like you buy the figure, but then you buy the sets, and then the thing they just like they had holes in their freaking chest to plug these things in. Like so, the green guy was always like, the blue guy always had the aerial stuff, and the green guy was all the water stuff. They were like, oh, he could go underwater. He'd put on this whole crazy underwater deal. Yeah. And I think there was a third. I don't know if he was orange or red, and he was kind of like the land, all the vehicles. It was like air, land, sea.
Oh, that's pretty bad.
And the sea guy was like kind of the Aquaman of it. Yeah. It's like, oh, we don't have any water here, so you're kind of useless today.
They just hang out,
Just hang out.
If someone robs the dock or whatever, you'll come in handy.
Kiet Fam on Facebook, like King Arthur and the Knights of Justice was the one with the football players.
Yeah, they went back in time.
Oh my god.
Okay. Do you remember? I remember Nintendo was making cartoons.
Oh no.
Okay, everyone remembers Captain N.
Please don't.
Right?
Yes. Captain N,
Okay.
Game Master, with the worst Mega Man.
That's my favorite Mega Man. But there was another cartoon. I vaguely remember it, but I can't find anything on it.
Mm-hmm.
It was another Nintendo cartoon, and it was basically about this kid. It was the opposite of Captain N. Like, the video game stuff came out into the real world, and like
That sounds familiar.
Bigfoot, like the monster truck, was like
Oh God. No, it was not Nintendo, it was Acclaim. Because they had to fight Mr. Big. Oh shit. It was like the characters from Narc and freaking they had Bigfoot. It was all it was funded by a video game company Acclaim.
Oh, okay.
Oh good God. Yeah, because I remember it was like then there was like a tomato, wasn't there?
Yeah.
There was a tomato. Oh my God. I probably haven't thought about this since the cartoon came out like 30 years ago. Holy shit. Yeah. That was a bad video game cartoon.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
And honestly, like, it's the weirdest thing. It sticks in my memory.
I want to Google it now. Oh my God, bad Acclaim cartoon. The Power Team, Kiet Fam. I knew we could count on you on Facebook Live. The Power Team. Oh my God.
I remember the only episode I remember was like someone stole Bigfoot, and it was like they had to go get him back.
The Power Team cartoon. Yep, there it is. Holy Jesus. Oh, thank you, Kiet Fam. The Acclaim Masters. Because they had, oh, good God. Yeah, Max Force from Narc. Kuros from Wizards and Warriors. Quirk, it was Tomato. Tyrone from Arch Rivals. And Bigfoot, the truck.
The truck.
And then the host of Video Power, Johnny Arcade. They fought Mr. Big. Oh, my God. Yeah, the show, right here. The show seemed to capitalize on the audience of Captain N, the Game Master, another DIC series, having a real-world teenager lead a team of video game heroes, but the opposite, having the video game characters come into the real world. Oh, good God. Oh, this is making me ill on some weird level. Oh, God.
But see, as they say,
That ran for 55 episodes? Good God.
But see, like that's the thing, man. Like, people don't have weird cartoons like that anymore, man. We don't have...
Yeah, Saturday morning cartoons are dead.
You know, we don't have those weird, shows anymore, man. Like,
because it was always a factory of sadness.
Yeah.
They had to crank out. It was like the one I hated. What Denver the Last Dinosaur.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hated that one because the theme song is just burned into your brain for the rest of it. Oh, Harold Hall. Harold Hall on Facebook. Bring up Captain Power. I don't know. You might be just too young to know about Captain Power. Captain Power was an interactive TV show. Oh. You have toys that interacted with the show. It was insane.
In the 80s?
In the 80s, my friend.
How did that work?
How? The show would flash like it would flash like weird freaking colored things, and like you'd have a toy. Mm-hmm. The toy was a ship with an IR. It was kind of like the Nintendo Zapper.
Okay.
I used that technology.
Pick up on it. Yeah.
It would pick up on the screen.
Yeah.
It would, like the IR would just take a photo of the screen. Oh, Mighty Max, Bushy Browley brings up on the Switch. Captain Power, like you'd shoot at the screen. We could probably do a whole episode about shitty 80s cartoons.
I think we should do that.
I think we should do that next week.
Yeah,
I think next week we might just have to talk nothing but bad 80s cartoons and bad shows. But this Captain Power, I just want to put a button on this. Like I had one of those, and they also had videotapes that you could buy, you could play again. Like you pop in the videotape, and like you'd have to shoot at the screen, and if it captured it correctly, you'd get points. But then if there was too many red things, it would eject. It would eject your figure if you didn't score enough. Samzia, you're the same age as me.
Yes.
Do you remember Captain Power?
Yeah.
Did you ever have any of the toys?
No.
Oh, see, I did. I was just explaining because someone on Facebook Live mentioned the Captain Power, and I was explaining it to Pete because Pete just a couple years ago, because it didn't last very long.
Yeah.
It was prohibitively expensive.
No, I would assume. Yeah.
I remember I wasted a Christmas gift on getting the ship with Captain Power, and I remember going to what was the store? It was called Service. No, not Service Merchandise. It was Montgomery Ward. Montgomery Ward, and seeing the toys there, and like seeing the other action figures of the other characters. It's a fun Google. If you Google Captain Power, you see like, what the fuck? This is so 80s. It looked like the Power Rangers before the Power Rangers.
Oh.
It was
live action.
Oh, it was so live action. Oh, Voltron was Power Rangers before Power Rangers. No, but this was live action. No, This was it was live action and ridiculous. So we've reached the end of the show. We've decided next week we're just going to talk about bad cartoons or our favorite cartoons.
Oh, God.
I think that next week we've kind of because since the last 10 minutes of the show degenerated that, we need to do a whole episode talking about our favorite show. GoBots,
I'll take
Max,
Shin-Chan, and I'll take what's it called, Shimonetta, man. That's
Oh.
one of the funniest damn shows I've ever seen.
working Cops, where the acronym stood for some sort of police thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Was it like long arm and like
Bulletproof.
bulletproof?
Oh no, it's gonna be. Oh yeah, that's next week's show. I'm writing it down. Format for next week. We're talking about all of our favorite freaking 80s cartoons. I see Bushy's going ham on the freaking Twitch, going Biker Mice from Mars, Double Dragon. Oh god, that was bad. The cartoon was bad. The game is awesome. The cartoon is bad. Oh my god.
Oh, Double Dragon, right? The two brothers, they look exactly the same, but their hair was different colors.
Yeah, but their hair was different color. Billy and Jimmy, man. Billy and Jimmy. I remember I under that last summer when me and Sam Zia were playing his NES. We fired up Double Dragon 3.
Yeah.
That's one of the 6 NES games I still own.
Oh, nice.
And by the way, I'm trying. It's how much harder it is to beat Mike Tyson and Mike Tyson Punch Out when you're doing it with TVs with lag.
Yeah, there's latency, man. It's impossible. It's freaking difficult. So, for everyone, for all of our listeners on iTunes, eventually, you can follow the show. If you want to watch the show live, it's on Facebook.com/DreGP Podcast. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it is @DreGP Podcast. If you want to follow excessively long executive producer Sam Z on Twitter, it is
SamZ570, SamZ570.
And if you would like to follow Pete Malini and get updates on the East LA Comic Con, you can follow him at
nostalgic_comics and East LA Comic Con, at East LA Comic Con.
At East LA Comic Con.
One word, yeah.
One word. If you'd like to watch us on Twitch when we actually do remember to Bucky O'Hare. Holy shit. Oh my god. That was another cheesy song, but the cartoon was okay. Bucky O'Hare. See, my poor brain, which is my hard drive, is freaking riddled with all these terrible things.
Super Chicken.
Oh, you're fired. You're fired. If you want to watch the show on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/DreGP Podcast. You can get a better view of all of us. You can see Pete. You can see me. You can see Sam dance in front of the camera. He's doing it in front of the Facebook camera as well. So thank you all. And then if you want to find the show on iTunes, search on your podcast app Dre's Geek Philosophy with an apostrophe, and you will find us there as well Now, for my awesome team here, I am your host, Dre Cervantes. Let's get on camera. This has been Dre's Geek Philosophy. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. However you consume the show, we thank you and we love you. Have yourselves a good night. Peace.